All right, so to make this adamantly clear for all of our friends playing along at home, there's no new paper homework, probably for the rest of the year. Khan Academy makes your life and my life easier as we get to the finish, because if you don't have things done on time, you can just email me and say, hey, that's done now, can you update my grade? Even if it's June. And what I am worried that other teachers aren't necessarily thinking about, we have to host summer school here. Like, not for you guys, for the district. Because the other buildings are being worked on. So once it hits like June and the actual like district summer school starts, it's going to be a pain in the butt to have you guys come in here. Because there will be actual summer school happening. So you don't want to do that. So let's not. And instead, let's just get our work done. Now on slide 2, if you've made it there yet, it's going to say you need a worksheet for this. And you do. And here's that. I just wanted to save your time from getting it in the back because Chromebooks take way too long. I'm tired of them wasting time at the beginning of class. Yeah, you are never waiting for me with Desmos. If I wanted you to wait for me, I would set Desmos to make you wait for me because I can control you. Well, only if I do evil things with the control of you. What if I do good things? Like, what if I control you and I make you go read or make you do your homework? That wouldn't be evil. Like if I make you do your Pompeii journal.
We don't talk about that.
It's the first rule of Fight Club. I'll add it to your bill.
I actually probably did have a bill going on. Hey, how much stuff have you destroyed? Haven't destroyed anything.
Alright, so I'm going to turn on some music so maybe we can focus and do our activity. Yeah, it's totally Simon's fault. Okay, Will, how is that helping anything? How is what you're spending your time on, doing in the Desmos, how is that helping anything? But Will, do you have time to spare? Not really. So why are you spending your time on something that is absolutely not productive? Neither do I. That's why I'm asking these questions. I would love if you would ask yourself these questions and make the right decisions. So, on a separate piece of paper, as the instructions say, calculate. Will, it's this paper. You gotta come to me. Why do you have you checked your backpack?
I checked my entire backpack.
The whole
I
backpack.
used all the
And you're gonna keep this all day long?
I'll try.
Do you have a pocket in your pants?
I do.
If this is not in your hand, it goes in your pocket. I asked the office for pencils. This is what I got. This is what I have to give out for I don't know how long. So we're running out of pencils dramatically. So, this slide feels like I don't know what to do. Anyone else feeling like a little like, wait, what? Like, okay, like I can read the instructions, right? And it says use any strategy to determine the value of c squared. What's it mean for something to be squared? Aside from like, when you use it for like being lame. Mick, what's it mean to square something? Multiply it by itself. Okay, so whatever c is, we just multiply it. Whatever c is, correct. We need to find the value of c. Now, there's another thing that squared means. Means take it and make it square. So, literally, like if I wanted to do a squared, take it and make it squared. And so what would a squared be? 4. What would b squared be? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is where Pythagoras figured out a really cool rule. That's actually up on my wall. Mick?
A squared plus b squared plus c squared.
Huh. I wonder if that might help us figure out c squared if we can't figure out what c actually is. I wonder if using our resources like the poster that's been there since August. So if I figure out a squared and I figure out b squared, I've got c squared? Huh. So if you moved past slide 1 without actually putting real effort into it, please go back. You don't have to have it correct, but I do need some sort of what you were thinking. And be careful if you moved on from the first slide. Hey, just make sure everyone actually read it right. You weren't trying to type in what c is. You were trying to type in what c squared is. Be careful. A couple of you typed in what you thought C was. Maybe go back and double check it. Actually, I'm going to yank you back real quick just to double check it. Make sure you think you typed in what C squared was, not what C is.
Can I have a pencil since I left my normal pencil at home?
Do you have a pocket in your pants?
Yep.
If it's not in your hand, put it in your pocket.
That's what I usually do. I think I just left mine at home.
That or a specific pocket in your backpack. Either your pants pocket or a specific backpack pocket. People playing along at home, I'm about to show a TED Ed video, which I can't keep my video recording on, so I'll link that TED Ed video on Schoology, probably in a folder that says, final 35 days, sprint to the finish or something. If you guys notice, I titled this, End of Year Sprint to the Finish. Guys, literally, I was having this conversation with somebody who was in here working this morning. One of my rock stars coming in at 7:30 to get stuff done. It's nobody in this room. But we really only have 13 regular days of school left for math class. It's even less for ELA. So that 35 is not even that accurate. We're really only asking you to keep pushing for 10 or 15 more days. And then everything chills out. I'll even admit to you guys, I'm taking my birthday off just because I don't want to come to work on my birthday and I've got the days to spare. And honestly, you've probably gotten tired of my face. So on my birthday, which is after the test, I won't be here. And it'll be a catch-up day or whatever. And I'll probably leave some cool TED Eds that you can watch or whatever. April 30th.
Happy
Last-
birthday, sir.
So the funniest story, thank you, funniest story was when my sister and I were in an argument, and she was like, you probably don't even know my birthday, because it was like the whole, like, you don't care about me type argument siblings will have. And I was like, yeah, it's August 18th, what about it? And I was like, okay, fine, what's my birthday? She's like, that's easy, it's the last day of April, April 31st. My sister's older than me by 3 years.
Wait, but they're...
Well, 2.5 years. She didn't know how many days were in April, so I like literally just started laughing. I could not keep arguing. I was just like, you don't know how many days are in April.
Well, no, but it's like January.
30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest of 30, right? But essentially the story goes that they all left port on a boat together. This guy that disagreed with them, as well as a group of the Pythagoreans. The story goes, the guy who disagreed with them did not return home. You make of that story what you will. However, Dr. Smith, my favorite professor from college that I always talk about, gave us these on one of the last days of class, saying that we were better than Pythagoras. Now, not only have I not taken anybody out on a ship and not brought them back to port, but you can prove the Pythagorean theorem using any shapes. No joke. The Pythagorean theorem is set up to be like worked with squares because A squared, B squared. But if you took A as a diameter, B as a diameter, C as a diameter, like any shape, if you compute the areas of the shape that is outside of that like length, you can do it with hexagons, octagons, whatever shape you want, it works always. So we went through and developed our own proof of why this works better than Pythagoras, because come on, circles are harder than squares, right? They're more complicated. We had a bunch of pi and r squareds and things that canceled each other out. But yeah, so if you want to be better than Pythagoras, just like apparently I was back in 2011, well, that was forever ago. You guys probably barely existed back then. Yeah, so, but on your handout, and I've left your activity unpaused, right? On your handout, you do have spaces where you can fill things in, and you could highlight your Pythagorean theorem is right down here. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You never think you can do anything until you like develop your way up to it, right?
Exactly. And like now I'm like, oh my god, this is so easy. But back then I was like, this girl's crazy.
All right, and we're gonna refocus on the activity. But on the back of your paper, you have these that go with slide 2, right, I believe? D, E, and F going with slide 2. Maybe highlighter. If you haven't opened another tab for Khan Academy, I just want to make sure that everyone's able to like see the homework and make sure that you like know where to go. It is 75% or higher. If it's a 5-question homework, you really need to shoot for 80% because otherwise you'd be at 60% probably. So yeah, 75% or higher. So on 4-question homeworks, you really only need to get 3 out of 4 right. If you're having any issues with Khan, please let me know. But I think I checked yesterday that we're all in the class. 3B checked their progress. Do we want to check progress?
Yes.
Do you guys want to see 3B first or after?
3B first.
All right, so 3B as of yesterday.
As of yesterday.
Well, they haven't had class yet. What do you want me to do?
Oh, okay.
So 3B, with the effort they put in during class to make as much progress as possible, made it to 47% of ring 1. You guys yesterday had, did we check this yesterday? I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it had like 19%. So the question is, did anyone do any of this last night? And it's okay if you didn't, because it wasn't really assigned as your homework yet. But let's check out what happened. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're in the lead, though. You're in the lead. You got 3% on him. You got 3%. All right, keep going. Keep going. Are you using the worksheet?
Yeah, but I think I'm overthinking something.
Okay.
I forgot how to calculate the side lengths for these. Would it be 2 divided by 1 or 1 divided by 2? Or something else?
I don't know. I wonder if we could kind of visually draw other right triangles to figure out that, like,
Oh, yeah.
so that could be a hypotenuse of a different right triangle, right? So, I don't know how to just write now, like, what is A, but I bet I could draw a little bit to help me figure out what A is, or at least A squared.
So technically, wait, this would be the new hypotenuse, right? The A would be the new
So you don't need to do that for triangle E, because if you look at this closely, A and B are the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you figure out what C squared is, you know A squared plus B squared should add up to that C squared. Now remember, this is asking you A squared, not A. It's asking you A squared. So, like, that's why A is 2, but A squared was 4. So that's right. When we go to, like, over here, C squared, well, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? What's 6?
36.
So we know that's 36.
Okay, 36.
So your A and your B, when squared, need to add up to that 36. There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, guys, on F, and this is why you have a paper to go with it. There are like tricks to figure out A, B, and C, but I don't have those memorized. I don't know about you, but I don't. We can look at slopes of things, but that's not what we're doing here. But if I drew a new triangle, this triangle that I just drew here, to make B a hypotenuse, right? Because I can make different triangles. This is a 2x4 triangle. I feel like we saw a 2x4 triangle somewhere else, but I'm going to let you guys figure out where it was. If I draw a triangle over here, one, two, three, 4, 5. Ooh, 3, 4. We saw something in the video about a 3, 4 something. Don't say it out loud. But guys, sometimes we want to draw other triangles to figure out the missing piece we're looking for. I hate to say it, but everyone except for Owen, who has moved past slide 2, has incorrect responses. If you are on slide 2, I am not certain if your responses are correct or not, but because of that, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I know some of you are probably getting mad at me. Stay on this slide for a minute. I'm going to unsync, but stay on this slide for a minute. If we look here, and we look at the 2-4 triangle, what can I relate this to? Who can help me figure out what we've already done that can help me here? Claire? Oh, triangle D is a 2-4 triangle. So wait, what was the hypotenuse over here? Or at least what was that C squared? What was C squared in triangle D? 20. So down here, B squared, we know is 20. Because we figured that out from up here when we used that triangle. 3, 4, what sort of right triangle uses 3 and 4? The 3, 4, 5 triangle. So what would C squared be here? Well, if C is 5, what's C squared? 25, because remember, we're doing the squared, not just what is C, but what is C squared. And how could I figure out A squared? Well, I know A squared plus B squared makes C squared. A squared has to be 5. Now you're welcome to move on your own. Claire, you still got something wrong in that box. Same with you, Amir. Did you put squares? Like, make sure you actually did the values squared. So I've never taught this like this before. I'm in a free trial of the Desmos curriculum. So as you can see, this is a Desmos worksheet. But I'm kind of like learning as I go. So I wanted to make sure that before you left class today, you like had the Pythagorean theorem in your head. You do not have to finish the Desmos. I would like you to go pop over into Khan Academy real quick and look at the assignments that are for this evening. Ooh, yeah, and the triangle side length rules, I made that due today because I want you to prioritize that activity first. Ooh, is it going to show me student or... Sorry, I want to make sure I don't show any. So, your triangle side length rules activity, this is not dealing with right triangles. It's just reviewing what we learned last year of like what lengths can be a triangle. And if I can't remember, I can go back and review these things. But on the any triangle... I'm going to try to find one that shows me. Imagine, this is what you should have learned last year that hopefully is still in your memory somewhere. Imagine that this side folds down as far as it can just before it flattens out. Well, now, what is the smallest that the third side could be? But it's not allowed to be that length because that would flatten the whole thing out. Couldn't tell if you were shifting. What is it if that 8 rotates down and lays on top of the 8.8? What's left over here? 0.8. Would that make a triangle? No, and that's why we don't say or equal. So remember, our minimum value that we're not allowed to be is just longer minus shorter. What about our maximum value that also we're not allowed to be? Yeah, the addition of them. So this would be 0.8 and this would be 16.8. So there's our triangle inequality that we should have learned last year. And so I'm just trying to do a quick review on it. This was 7th grade content. Right? And if we didn't, that's okay. We're reviewing it now. But like you got to visualize, since we don't have any angle restrictions, they don't tell us this is a right triangle, anything like that. You got to visualize laying it down or folding it out all the way. And then the right triangle activity will just utilize that Pythagorean theorem. So I would probably keep that worksheet with you and or your math notes for this chapter. I believe I put Pythagorean theorem in there. Maybe. Yeah, I 100% put Pythagorean theorem in your notes. Oh, hey, look! The triangle inequality is also in your notes. So if you're struggling on the Khan Academy, all because we've switched over from paper homework doesn't mean your math notes don't apply still. This is everything you need to know to make it through tonight's homeworks. Everything. It's in your math notes. Well, I hope you were listening to the things I said, because from what I can tell, you were just still trying to work on the Desmos. If not, it's recorded.